We're so happy to have you on with us today because, oh my gosh, what a movie and what a performance! When you saw this as an opportunity, you must have thought, oh, I got to do this, right? It's just so touching.
Well, it's rural movies are far and few between. So I just think that's a market that's starving for good material for two reasons. One, Hollywood doesn't know how to make um, a, an authentic rural piece. It's rare when
Yeah.
that happens, unless you're dealing with somebody like Costner, who's got his thumb on it. But um, they also don't come around very often. So
Mhm.
when I read the piece originally, and of course, my father rode bulls for 10 years for a living, and then he became a stunt man. And that's how I sort of transitioned into the business. I grew up ranching and wanting to be a professional cowboy myself. So um, when the acting thing sort of took over, that took a back seat. Uh, I still have horses today and still compete and team rope and ride, but um, bull riding is something that is way behind me. And bringing somebody in like Forey J. Smith, who was a professional bareback rider and a bull rider, and we all know
Mhm.
him from Yellowstone fame. He plays Lloyd on
Yeah.
Yellowstone, and just an amazing person, a
Yeah.
great cowboy, a fine actor, and really helped us um, level this production up to what I felt turned out to be an extremely authentic um, little piece about three generations of bull riding, uh, and this family struggling to survive
Mhm.
in today's standards. And it's got a lot of heart and soul.
Yeah.
Um, it's got some action, good guys, bad guys. I think Jake Allen, who wrote and directed and
Yeah.
starred in the movie, he plays my son, did a great job um, with handling all three of those very difficult duties. Even one of them at a time is difficult.
Yeah.
And he was the one, to be honest, that I was most concerned about as far as understanding what it takes to be a cowboy. And
Mhm.
it goes further than just putting on a hat. It's the way they walk, the way they talk, the way they live. And I was really proud of the way he really took it seriously. He went and got on bulls for real and started practicing and
Mhm.
hanging out with real cowboys, and took that extra effort to make it as legit as possible. And you know, winning the Western Heritage Award with for this little
Mhm.
film, and taking home an award at the Dallas Film Festival.
Yes.
Uh, Really, I think shows the effort and the love and the work that went into it, and the concern that we had, not wanting to let down the rural community, because
Mhm.
a lot of times when the horse
Yeah.
movie or rodeo movie comes on board, if you're a cowboy, you can't get around seeing all the
Mhm.
faults, instead of just letting it go and embracing it for what it is. Um, we can tell who can ride and who can't ride, and who's wearing their hat right and who's not, and who put their spurs on right and who didn't. So there's all those little tiny factors that most people, you know, they can't get by the kerchief and the big hat and they
Yep.
think that's a cowboy. But if you were raised in that environment, it's tough not to cringe when you see that stuff. So
Yeah.
um, I think Jake Allen did a really fantastic job making sure that everything was as authentic as possible.
He did, and it was so great to see it on the big screen with an audience at the Dallas International Film Festival, and just and have the greatest cowboy you could have there, Corey J. Smith, right?
Exactly right. I wish I was there that day. I was working, unfortunately, but um, I heard that the people really accepted it, and
Yeah.
I was at the Cowtown Coliseum when we screened it the other
Yes.
night, and that was excellent. Everybody that showed up knew about rodeo, and at least if they weren't cowboys, they'd been to plenty of rodeos themselves, and they embraced it and loved it. So, it's you never know when you finish a project, and especially going into a project, everybody has high hopes, of course, and everybody wants to make a great film. But I'm just one instrument in this complicated orchestra. So um, I'm over here playing the violin the best I can, but if the horn section is terrible, then the movie's terrible. So
Yeah.
I'm really proud of the way that this whole thing came around, and I think the music is great, and the original song that I wrote and performed
Yeah.
aside, I felt like there's something. It's the music really supports the story,
Yeah.
and a lot of times there's a disconnect there, and I think it was shot extremely well. Keith
Hmm.
Lehman did a great job filming this thing, and so you get good writing, good music, good performances, um, and have it shot well. Generally, you got a pretty good chance.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, people have been looking up to you for years and been thinking, "Oh, that's what I want to do," and you make it look so easy, and it's certainly not. What kind of advice do you give to people that want to follow in your footsteps and do what you do?
Well, the times have changed a lot.
Hmm.
Social media has completely changed the world, and everybody's got a camera in their pocket now. But I'd say it really starts with, for me, really being clear on why you want to do it. My wife and I started a foundation called the Stay Gold Foundation, which gives us an opportunity to go around and speak to students at different schools and using the outsiders as a platform. And of course, that book is required reading in about 70 to 80% of the schools across America. And I'd say 70 to 80% of those schools screen the film afterwards. And I'm whenever I go in, I always get the question, how can I become famous? Um, I think these kids are sort of trained to, through social medias, wanting the likes. And when they post a picture that doesn't get the likes that they want, there's heartbreak and disappointment or whatever. You discover slowly that you're not as popular as the next kid, and we've all dealt with that through school. I wasn't a popular kid in school. I was a cowboy, and that was way down on the totem pole. But um, I think really embracing your own authentic self and understanding the value that you have, and I say this to a lot of young kids and young performers. um, if they can really understand that perfecting and being the best version of themselves is really going to create a space for them in the acting world. A lot of kids get hung up on um, seeing the things that they don't have because of social media and trying to be something that they aren't. And that is the exact opposite of what Hollywood is looking for. Authenticity wins. If you can stay true to yourself and follow your heart and not get disappointed when you hear the word no. I mean, I've heard the word no a million times, and that's part of the game. And you just have to be prepared and ready and understand your own value, love yourself, and not try to go beyond who you really are, not try to be something. Don't be a copycat. uh, Real creativity is lonely because um, you you're running the point, and you don't have, anybody can copy, and it's easy to copy. And when you copy, you have references. But when you're truly authentic, you don't have references. You have to have courage. And a lot of times that can be scary. And so learning how to um, not care about what other people think and not do it to please other people, and set that bar high for yourself, and achieving those many goals that lead you to the goal, is really the answer. So that's really the message that I try to share with the younger kids.
Oh, that's beautiful. Well, and this movie has so much heart, and there's so much depending on what you've been through that I think people will take away from this, and you got to be excited because it's a truly authentic, beautiful film. Right?
I really appreciate that you saw it and that we could have a conversation about it. That wasn't just one
Yeah.
sided. So thank you for taking the time to do that, and I
Yes.
appreciate that tremendously. And also thank you for the time right now.
Absolutely. I appreciate you. All right. We'll see you again soon. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Okay. Bye
Bye
bye.
now.